Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Wednesday, August 9th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with last night's episode of NXT broadcast live on USA Network from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. The main event saw Dominic Mysterio successfully defend the NXT North American Championship against Dragon Lee with some illegal outside help from Rhea Ripley. Rey Mysterio, who was in Dragon Lee's corner, tried but failed to alert the referee to the interference.
Oh! The referee! Michinoku driver! Didn't see Ripley! And he escapes again!
After the match, Lyra Valkyria hit the ring and ran off Rhea Ripley, who headed back with the North American champion. Noam Dar accepted a match against NXT Heritage Cup champion Nathan Frazier for the Heatwave edition of NXT in 2 weeks. Frazier granted Dar the match in exchange for Dar admitting that his own version of the Heritage Cup isn't the real one. Dar had lost the fake cup to Tyler Bate in a match earlier in the show, but Bate later gave the counterfeit trophy back to Dar. Also setting up a match for Heatwave on the show was Ilya Dragunov, who challenged Trick Williams to a match, which Williams accepted.
Dragunov, you're one of one. You're one of the best. And that's why in 2 weeks at Heatwave, I'm ready to prove that I am too.
Oh, Trick, I admire your courage, I truly do. You know what, I will grant your unusual request. So I see you at Heatwave, where your career will die.
In other results, Braun Breaker defeated Von Wagner, Mustafa Ali beat Axiom in the opener, Dijak attacked Wes Lee in a backstage promo segment, Blair Davenport upended Kalani Jordan, after which Dana Brooke chased off Davenport with a belt. Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey topped Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen due to outside interference from Damon Kemp, and Kiana James went over Ivy Nile. The Schism attacked Nile after the match, but were chased off by Tony D'Angelo and the family. In WWE news, WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns sustained an injury during his title defense against Jey Uso at SummerSlam, according to a report from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. The nature and severity of the injury is not known, but it appears to have occurred early in the match. Reigns is still scheduled to appear for the Hail to the Chief live promo segment during this Friday's SmackDown. In ratings news, WWE Monday Night Raw drew an average audience of 1.89 million viewers to the USA Network on Monday, according to WrestleNomics. That's a 6.8% increase from the 1.759 million that tuned in last week. The rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was .61, translating to 793,000 viewers, up 99,000 viewers from last week's .53, and the most of the show was notched since the June 26 edition, which did 794,000 viewers in the demo. In the hourly breakdown, Hour 1 drew 1.959 million viewers, which dropped to 1.883 million for Hour 2, then dropped slightly again to 1.82 million for the final hour. Last Saturday night's edition of AEW Collision on the TNT network drew the lowest total audience of the show's 8-week history, averaging 417,000 viewers according to WrestleNomics. Going head-to-head with the WWE Survivor Series premium live event streaming on Peacock, the program was down 43.6% from the week prior. Collision finished with a .13 in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic, also a new low in the company's history. The show finished 16th on cable television for the day, averaging 164,000 viewers in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic, down 53.7% from the July 28th episode. New Japan Pro Wrestling presented Day 15 of the 33rd Annual G1 Climax tournament on Tuesday at the Budokan in Yokohama, Japan. In the final day of Block C matches, Tomohiro Ishii defeated Mikey Nichols, Tama Tonga topped Hanare, David Finlay went over Eddie Kingston, and in the main event, Evil defeated Shingo Takagi. With their victories, Finlay and Evil now advance to the quarterfinal round, joining Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, Sonata, and Hikuleo. The final two participants in the round of 8 will be determined today in Shizuoka as the final day of Block D matches takes place. The quarterfinal round of the G1 begins on Thursday. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, You can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The wrestling news can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the wrestling news across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the wrestling news. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.